As organizational leaders, working professionals, and members of a multicultural, multi-generational world, there is a lot of talk in regards to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and the why behind it all. But what do these terms even mean? What does it look like to have a foundational understanding of diversity, equity, and inclusion in order to navigate and to lead DEI within your own workplace, your own community? To understand, embrace, and activate the what, the why, and the how of diversity, equity, and inclusion, it is critical to demonstrate our advocacy and allyship through effective and inclusive behaviors. I'm Raven Solomon, founder and CEO of Raven Solomon Enterprises, your trusted diversity, equity, and inclusion education and consulting firm. As you embark on your own journey of being an inclusive leader or an inclusive individual, I invite you, I challenge you to utilize our approach to the work of diversity, equity, and inclusion through a simple framework called the 6 building blocks of DEI. Inclusive actions and behaviors are the 6th and final building block of diversity, equity, and inclusion for a reason. Why? Because inclusion starts with I. An extraordinary revelation, right? But I don't mean literally, although that is absolutely very true. I mean figuratively. Inclusion is a large-scale cultural approach to community, but it is also an up-close, individual, and deeply personal matter. In fact, I believe it starts with the individual, you and I. Like driving, the process of becoming an inclusive individual will feel very, maybe mechanical at the beginning. At first, you may get your signals mixed up. You may mistakenly step outside of your lane, cross a boundary or two, and there will be times when you want to, let's say, take the wheel and shift back into your first gear, your first understanding of the world. However, by actively engaging the tools of inclusive behaviors and those covered throughout the 6 building blocks of DEI, you will become more comfortable moving into that learner seat, the space where you understand others' perspectives as being valid and equally accurate as yours. Then, with your mindset in place, the journey toward becoming an inclusive individual can actually begin. At the foundation of inclusive behavior is the understanding of what it means to be an ally. For those new to this conversation of inclusion, one might be unsure of how to effectively demonstrate allyship to those around them. Well, the ACEs model we use at RSE offers a comprehensive framework that empowers individuals just like you to become effective allies from the ground up. This 4-level approach, called ACEs, A-C-E-S, acknowledge, converse, educate, and stand, provides a clear roadmap for those just starting out on this allyship journey. The first step in the ACEs model is to acknowledge. To be an ally, one must first acknowledge the systemic issues and inequities present within our society, recognizing that systemic challenges are deeply ingrained and profoundly affect marginalized communities is absolutely imperative. Moreover, allyship requires an awareness of one's privileges. These are inherent advantages that we all have in some degree or another based on our various social identities. Acknowledging privilege is not an exercise in guilt, but it is rather a foundation for understanding how we can engage our identities and platforms to benefit the greater good. The C is for converse. Converse is the 2nd level of the ACEs model, and it involves actively engaging in open, honest conversation with emotionally available members of the marginalized community you're looking to ally for. Through these conversations, inclusive individuals or inclusive leaders gain valuable insights into the lived experiences of others, that help broaden their perspectives and really understand their view. As you seek to have these conversations, please ensure that those you seek to engage in space and in dialogue with are ready and emotionally available, willing to share their stories. That step is essential. Remember, people do not owe you their stories. Respecting people's choices to share their stories is also essential, rather than expecting them to just do so because you asked. Additionally, listening with empathy is also crucial for fostering understanding and building meaningful connections, as it really allows us to truly grasp others' perspectives and emotions, enriching the depth of our conversations. The third facet of the ACEs model is E for educate. Educate is a commitment to ongoing learning and self-improvement, because allyship requires a comprehensive grasp of the issues at hand, including their historical context and their modern implications. So actively seeking out reputable resources, that is, books, articles, documentaries, and more, really enables us as potential allies to delve into the depths of these matters and better comprehend the complexities of the systemic barriers impacting said community. So education empowers inclusive individuals like you and I to engage in allyship with a well-informed perspective, amplifying the effectiveness of our efforts. The final level of the ACEs model is stance. At this stage, allies take a bold and visible action to advocate for equity, justice, and change wherever they exist. Equipped with knowledge and a genuine desire to make a difference, allies can leverage their privilege to dismantle barriers and create inclusive spaces. Taking a bold and outward stance for allyship means using one's voice and influence to challenge oppressive systems, champion underrepresented voices, and actively contribute to the pursuit of equality. It's about making a conscious choice to be an agent of transformation in every sphere of life, wherever you exist. Demonstrating allyship in any sense is a journey. Indeed, ally is both a verb and a noun. Furthermore, it is not a label that can be applied to someone, but it's a lifestyle that one embraces in an effort to showcase any form of allyship for those who are transgender, non-binary, or gender non-conforming. Respecting pronouns is the foundation of advocacy and allyship. As an example, to be an ally is to take on a struggle as your own and to transfer the benefits of your own privilege to those without it. Allyship calls for us to amplify oppressed voices above our own sometimes. When you demonstrate allyship, you can acknowledge pain while remembering that the conversation or the situation is not about you. Those demonstrating inclusive behavior show up for others, even when it can be scary. Allies and advocates take risk while decentering themselves, all while remembering that their personal education and growth is their responsibility. Allyship is a journey, not a singular set of actions. By opening oneself to a growth mindset and building authentic connections, meaningful relationships grounded in respect and empathy can be cultivated. Equity is both a process and a goal, as it involves actively striving for fairness and justice while simultaneously working towards achieving equal outcomes and opportunities for all. DEI takes a commitment to embracing individual actions and behaviors, the final of the 6 building blocks of DEI, so that both our words and our actions can answer this essential question of how do I play a part in equity and inclusion. Understanding the 6 building blocks of DEI allows us to reimagine the role we all play in achieving equity and fostering inclusion. Both individual behavior and systemic change will create the world in which we hope to both live in and to leave for future generations to come. If you've made it to the end of this video, you've likely completed our series on the 6 building blocks of DEI. If not, I hope that you'll go back and you'll watch the other videos as we uncover the what, the why, and the how of this essential work we call DEI, as we discover, embrace, and activate DEI.